Why? You did all that shit and saved it just for this?
Just for that right there.
Are you going to show it on the...
Yeah.
You have an idea who it is?
I'm going to blur it. No, I don't. I have no idea. Center yourself.
All right. Welcome to episode 66 of the Whiskey and Whitetails podcast. You're listening to this on March 28th of 2022.
Maybe.
Or not, whenever you're listening to it. That's when we released it.
Came out on that day.
And we assume that you listen to them eagerly on the day we release it. So today's March 28th, and if it's not, you're late. But thanks for joining us. If you're a regular listener, if you're new, welcome. We appreciate you. You can check out our cool stuff on whiskeyandwhitetails.com and use code podcast to get 20% off. Do we have a code word for this week, or are we doing that later?
Yes, the code word is oak.
Oak.
A-O-K. Or O-A-K. O-A-K.
O-A-K.
O-A-K.
Is A-OK.
Is A-O-K. K-A-O. You can use oak or K-A-O.
Yeah, whatever you...
But yeah, you throw that in a comment, and if you're just doing an audio version, just leave us a review and leave the word oak in there, and then you were entered into our thing. And this week's winner is probably going to get one of my... the things I use to wax my nose. You'll get one of those with the hair on it and everything.
Oh, already used?
Yeah, already used.
Oh, not like a kit to try, but just like...
I'm going to send you two winners, one for each nostril.
Gross. That's so nasty.
No, but we do a prize kit giveaway probably once a month. We might make it even a bigger giveaway and do it quarterly. We haven't decided, but...
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Get a bigger pool of contestants.
Yes.
Cool.
So this is your bottle. Sorry, it's just something missing.
That's okay.
But we did on Patreon, we're doing a 1915 deal together, and it will only be available on there. And we got stickers made that, of course, say 1915 and then the bottom. I mean, we totally ripped this off, so we can't sell it, obviously. But
just for fun.
Old Forester made two perfectly good bottles, and then people started blending them together, and then Whiskey and Whitetails. So that's what it is, and it's 104 proof, which was easy to do. 115, 93 divided by 2. But yeah, so that's the exciting thing.
Cool.
We'll pour us some of this. Oh, let you go first.
Thanks.
You're welcome. We're also waiting on new covers. I don't know what they're called. They made out of the bottle seals. Stop doing that.
The cork, but whatever.
Yeah.
Bottle toppers.
Yep.
Whatever.
And as you see the name scrolling ahead of us, above us, those are our Whiskey and Whitetails executive producers, part of our Patreon community, which gets you access to the Discord and some other fun things that come around the corner whenever we send them out. I can smell it from here, and it's
they get a lot of red.
Magical.
I get a lot of red licorice.
It's yeah, I've never had that smell before, but now that you say it, that is a smell.
I'm dealing with like a sinus allergy thing. This past weekend, I camped with Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts for my sons out at the goatery, which I think we've talked about before.
The goatery.
And spent all weekend helping them around the farm and letting the kids get exposure to kind of what that's like and all that kind of stuff. And they let us stay out there for free, and so I felt obligated to do some work. So I spent like 2 hours cleaning up goat shit and
which is fun.
Hay and baling hay and putting new hay.
It was hay allergies.
Yeah, as I think what I figured out. The next day I woke up and my nose and throat were really itchy, and then by yesterday it was like a full blown kind of sinus infection thing. And
now you're gross. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What is that? Dude, someone's breaking into my house right now. Look at that.
God.
They're chugging out of my bottles.
Why? You did all that shit and saved it just for this?
Just for that right there.
Are you going to show it on the...
Yeah.
You have an idea who it is?
I'm going to blur it. No, I don't. I have no idea. No clue, but somebody half naked was chugging bottles at my bar.
Is that...
The other half. The half that you wouldn't expect to be, it was that half.
Mm.
It's strange.
Seemed like the individual had a rough night. Just trying
I don't know who that is.
Trying to offset the hangover in the morning.
Could have been the neighbor.
It could have been the neighbor.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll check the Ring cameras when I get home.
Yeah, there's I've met the neighbor. He's been on the show. He's been on the channel. Stark. I mean, uncanny resemblance.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell you guys apart from or any angle, let
him
alone
and whoever that is.
Yeah, right.
That person. Yeah, I don't know who that was, but that's what happened to.
To my bottle.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
It's just so good that that somebody broke into. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I had some things I wanted to. It's always, it's that season where you're starting to get excited about new stuff coming out this year. So I wrote down. I just did I think I did 3 hunting and 4 whiskeys. Okay. I figured we could just go over it and chat and see what we think.
Let's do it.
So one was the Michter's US1 Barrel Strength Rye, 111.6 proof. It's $100. Comes out in March. You think that's going to be? It's a limited release. We probably won't even have the opportunity to buy it.
Yeah, I was going to say probably
$100 for a Michter's Barrel Strength Rye.
I like Michter's. I don't keep it on my shelf as often as I should because I have a hard time finding. Maybe it's just I don't get out there enough, but the bourbon, which I like. Now, the American whiskey is really good, too.
Yeah,
that's easier to find, and the rye is good, too.
Yep.
The one that I want is the 10-year. That's hard to find, just in general. I know you do.
You can come try it.
But I'm sure it'll be great, and if I could find it for $100, I'd probably buy it.
Yeah, I definitely would if I could find it. The Barrel Strength Rye is definitely, I like it, and if I can find it for $100, I'm going to buy it. We might put some feelers out for that one. Speaking of Michter's, Rocco has been in chats with them for his dinner.
Yeah, I saw. You sent me that text. I got caught up on that thread. I am super excited about that. And I don't know because now that the wife's been there and it's kind of seen what the town's like, she's been looking, and we have other things we've been looking in the area for. I don't know what plans she might have, but those are all secondary to that if those plans come through. Yeah.
I think that would be a lot of fun. And it's for Rocco's dinner. It's in October.
It is in September. It's actually, we're up there in Kentucky for that in early. It's like the first weekend or second weekend in September. And then 2 weeks later, we're back up there for Bourbon on the Banks.
Okay.
So we'll be up there twice in September, but it's early September. Weather should be great up there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it will. If anybody wants to come to that, it was a blast last year, and we're getting a table, and we haven't started filling it yet. We have a couple spots that are definitely taken.
I was just gonna say this package when it gets finalized and we can actually talk about it, assuming it does. I don't want to get people's hopes up and something not work out, but this would be, even if you don't come for the dinner, which I mean the dinner itself is good enough reason to come.
Well, this thing comes with a ticket.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. This package is super worth it.
Yeah. For the price of the ticket, and then you look at the price of what you're getting on top of it, and a hotel room and everything,
yeah, hotel room, you get food at the event. I mean, it's gonna be fun.
It's definitely worth it.
Definitely worth it. So,
I'm looking forward to that. The next one was the Old Fitz release is a 17-year.
A 17. Oh, I read that wrong. At first glance, I thought I said 14.
17-year.
17, really? Bottled and bonds.
Obviously, 100 proof. Yep, $185.
$185
price tag. Which means it'll be $3 something.
Oh,
here.
For sure. I like Old Fitz. I don't know if I like it that much.
I'm not a huge Heaven Hill, which is funny. It's Friday. I was hanging out with Kevin from SCBC and a liquor store owner on James Island.
Oh, yeah.
And we went to, he owns an audio visual company like for rich people. He has, it's crazy. I didn't know this existed, but he played music and was like, show me which speakers. There's just a bunch of speakers in this room. He's like, show me which one. And like, go and touch them all. And none of them are doing anything. But as you get closer to the wall, you can like feel it coming off the wall. And you put your hand on the wall. It's a speaker that goes in the wall and then they mud over it. So you can't see it. So it's like drywall. It just looks like a wall and there's speakers in it. It's crazy.
Do they have to use a special, is there a special mud for that? Or just?
I have no idea.
That's wild.
Didn't ask.
That's some rich people stuff.
Yes, some rich people stuff. That's what he does, like Kiowa and stuff, and takes, he put a speaker and a piece of crown molding so you get above a TV. Can't even tell.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's cool. He has a planter.
Sounds challenging and like you could sit and get creative and it sounds like a good time.
I wanted to buy this planter. The wife shut it down pretty quick, but it goes outside obviously and it's waterproof and all that. But it's a planter. It's like, waist high and you put a bush in it or whatever. But it's got a sub and some speakers. It's $2,800 though. Oof. But it's waterproof. Has like a 10-year warranty.
Right. But if you spend a lot of time outside, you entertain people and you got that kind of money.
I would need like 10 of them. I'm just kidding. One would suffice.
Yeah, I'm sure it would.
But the point of the story is Kevin doesn't like Heaven Hill.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge fan either. Like it just tastes like you're drinking dirt or dust. garage dust, you know?
Hurt no Colton's feelings over here.
Colton's yelling at us right now.
What are you talking about?
Colton's he just posted a picture last night of his old Fits collection. But somebody brought a 14-year and we tried that and it's the same.
Yeah.
And it was funny watching Kevin struggle through it, just like,
oh.
But yeah, 7 not good. That's gonna be a
That's
pass
what makes
for me.
bourbon fun, man. It's just taste is so subjective, just like anything else in life. Just because you like it doesn't mean I won't, or vice versa.
For sure. And then Barrel Bourbon Batch 32. I've seen a bunch of people. I'm guessing they sent samples to a ton of people, like in the Instagram whiskey community.
Got it. Thanks for hitting us up.
I think you got to go ask.
Oh,
which we don't ever do.
I don't ask. We
could go ask for industry samples. I just don't do it. I just you know, because we get asked for stuff all the time, you know.
Yeah.
And it makes me be like, I mean, we'll do it, but not every time. Don't stop it. But so Barrel Bourbon Batch 32, it's a 5-year, 115 proof, $90, which I feel is cheaper than most barrel releases.
I'd buy it for $90.
I think I would too. Everything's expensive now, as far as everything. But the whiskey is starting to show its colors. It's pretty crazy. Like the days of like $25, $30 bottles are probably pretty close to being done with. Which we still haven't done we promised we'll find a new cheap bottle.
That new?
I'm just Wild Turkey 101 all day. Anyway, last one I wanted to do was the Foregate. I didn't write down the name of it. The Saint whatever, but it's the Batch 18. 7 years, 119 proof, $199 MSRP. But it's Foregate, so, I'm going to pass on that one. And we know people that are Foregate lovers.
I'm just going to say this, and people are going to, I don't think there's a single brand or bottle that I'm like super hyped about. I like bourbon.
Yeah.
And I like whiskey.
And
I'll drink anything. And I like sharing things and trying things. But I don't think there's a single bottle in the world that gets me so fired up that I would go stand in a long ass line to get it or pay a ridiculous amount of money over MSRP.
You might be the anomaly. Well, you and I might be the anomaly.
There's just not.
Would you pay $300 for a bottle? Like any bottle?
Maybe. Yeah. I think there's some bottles out there.
Like that Michter's 10. Would you pay $300 for that? I don't think so.
They have a 20-year.
Which we might be...
Which I
getting a chance to bid on.
I would pay $300 for that.
How much would you pay for charity? Because there may be one at a charity dinner.
It's a conversation to have offline, sir.
Yeah. Don't be stealing our... Yeah. Last year, Rocco's, if you like rare bourbon, there was some stuff that went for cheap.
I think before we go, we need to chat with folks that we are going to have there, or even if it's just you and I, and agree on...
This is what we'll spend. And
this is what we'll spend on some of these, and split it, and go in with a budget that I'm willing to spend this amount and pull it all together and see what we can walk away with.
And then if there's stuff left over, we'll just
because there's some stuff that we dismissed, assuming it was going to skyrocket, and got caught up in conversation, and then they finished it, and we were like,
1,300 what?
Yeah, like it goes for double that on secondary.
I think
we could have paid the amount and walked it. And before we left the event that night, sold it on secondary. Not that that's our.
And we had somebody sitting with us that works at a store, and he was saying,
that's right.
He was like, dude, you could easily sell that for double what it just went for. Not that we're in the market,
and that individual doesn't just work at a store. That individual does barrel picks. He's very. I just remember, yeah. Anyways,
he knows. We're not saying his name, but I don't think we can.
If he's listening, he knows.
Yeah, he knows. Okay. All right, and then on to some bows. So, I'm a bear guy.
Yeah.
The Refine Eco 33-inch, 342 feet per second.
I didn't know deer ran that fast.
Right? 4.4 pounds. So it has the better vibration reduction. So last year they had the Redemption EKO, which was like supposed to be next to no vibration.
Right.
So this is the refined Redemption. So there's supposed to be no vibration. I don't know. I guess they're going to keep doing it every year.
Next year, it's going to move the vibration from the bow to your toes.
Yeah. You're going to wear a strip that links it to your belt with an anti-vibration.
Every year, it's something else. It's funny to watch.
I didn't write down the price, but they're all $1,000 to $2,000 somewhere in there.
Probably.
So that's the Bear one coming out, which I like Bear. I like Fred Bear. I watched Fred Bear as a kid. And then you're a Matthews guy. So the Matthews V3X 29-inch IBO, 441 feet per second. Nope, 340 feet per second. Excuse me. 340 feet per second. But it has the new bridge lock sight technology, which I don't know too much about.
I do.
Go ahead.
It is it's a simplifies your sight installation. It's instead of having to screw everything in, right, and match up like
all those little holes.
All those little holes.
Yeah.
I can't remember all the details. I can't remember if they have a specific sight that you buy for it, or if you mount that sight to this rail, but it's like a rail that you slide in and you can adjust that way. It's just supposed to make it easier and more adjustable, I think.
Like a molly rail? Or
yeah, something like that, I guess. I remember seeing it and going, that's interesting. I'm not going to pay extra for it right now.
Yeah.
Like, eventually I'll upgrade from the Triax I have, and it'll probably be a standard thing at that point. So
we've always been like 5 years ago was just fine. I mean, my bow was 2 years old, and I guess it's now almost 7 years old.
Yeah, and it kills deer just fine, right?
There's nothing wrong with it.
It's
still hanging on that bow rest. That bow rest works.
Yeah, time to start cranking some of those out.
Proof of concept. Yeah, we made whiskey and whitetails, whiskey barrel bow rest. Yeah. We made a one, and then it's been like months, and it's fine. It works just great.
Yep.
I have noticed one thing in design that is not a problem, but I could see it being a problem for especially these newer bows, and I'll bring that up.
Yeah, please do.
And then
see if we can work around it.
The Hoyt Redworks Carbon RX-7, 34 inches, 342 feet per second, which ties it with the Bear, but it is 3.9 pounds, so it weighs 0.3 pounds, 5 pounds, 0.5 pounds less than the Bear.
And the feet per second for people who get I think
it's annoying.
I'm pretty sure that changes depending on your arrow setup and all the poundage.
It's also not as important. Like
not even a little bit.
Think about if you're not into bow hunting. Think about and you hunt and you want to get into bow hunting. Think about how we talk about Buffalo Trace. I mean, sure, it's good, but there's other stuff out there. But it's also you don't have to spend that kind of money. You don't have to buy Pappy. You can buy if you want to buy. If you're like Bear is my thing or Hoyt or whatever, Buffalo Trace is my thing. You can buy regular Buffalo Trace and be almost just as happy as $1,000 bottle of Stag.
I'm not 100% sold on my next bow being a Matthews. Like Elite has come out with some interesting bows. I mean, every bow with technology today and the way it's advanced, every major bow manufacturer has a line of very nice bows that can be effective at killing animals, and that's the point.
And you don't have to go that fast.
No, you just want something that's effective and it's reliable that you can shoot and that you're comfortable holding. If you're not comfortable holding it and shooting it, then you're not gonna have confidence, and it's just not gonna go well. So
I mean, if you think about for millennia, people have been bow hunting without compound bows, and they've been surviving as a human race without compound bows.
Right.
And then in the movies, when you see people get I'm watching the Bourgeois, the Pope, that corrupt Pope.
Oh yeah.
From a long time ago.
Just that one.
Like, dude.
Not the time. Okay. Not the time.
We were watching last night, and Andy was like, "This makes it look even worse."
Does it?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah. I was like, because that's commonplace. Anyway. So they have like archers and stuff, and people get hit by an arrow, and it goes in like an inch, and then they just pull it out. Like those, no. Don't think that if someone comes at you with a recurve bow, that it's just going to go in an inch. It's going to sail right through you.
Oh yeah.
So don't.
Yeah, there's plenty of people who are really into the traditional bow hunting, and they use long bows and recurve, and they kill deer just fine.
Yeah, and the arrow goes in the ground just like it does on a compound bow. The advantage of a compound bow is you could shoot a lot further accurately.
Yeah, you got to be with the recurve and the traditional archery equipment. You do have to be a little bit closer. You use it's a different type. It's more challenging. I would agree with people who say that. So, but you definitely to each his own.
You definitely don't need 340 feet per second.
No.
But that was the end of my new whiskey, new bow release stuff. You want to move into the plug?
Let's do it.
Let's do the plug.
Ooh, we can turn it up first.
Yeah.
It's time for the plug of the week.
This week's plug of the week is pretty serious.
It's brought to you by Wintersmiths, and this is a
Not what I was, we got told about this from our Patreon supporter that this is the best ice maker for clear ice on the planet.
Well,
and so I reached out and I said, hey, you were recommended to us by a patron, and if you want to send us one, we'll do some full reviews, do some videos, all this stuff, and it has arrived.
So I can tell you, in anything, first impressions are important.
Yeah.
This thing is solid.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
Imagine
it's
it full
thick,
of ice.
It's well manufactured, and we broke it down and looked at. I can't make it work.
You just gotta be a little forceful. Yeah.
But yeah, so it comes with a mold for both cubed ice.
So you can get multiple molds. They have like the bar ice as well for the tall Collins glasses.
Yeah, like for
they have skulls. They have all kinds of different molds.
Cool.
They asked me what I wanted, and I was like, just circle and round, or circle and square.
Yeah,
squares and circles.
So for those that can see, we have squares and circles, and it's pretty neat the way it kind of locks in place. You fill this up first, and then set that in there, right, and then it fills up the.
Then I guess you just want to make sure that it's filled all the way to these little vent holes here.
Right.
We haven't used it yet.
No, we haven't. And this is
just arrived.
This is the plug of the week. We wanted to throw it out there and let people know that these folks were nice enough to send us some cool stuff, and we're going to check it out and definitely put it through its paces. And there
will be more than one video coming out. We'll do like updates.
Okay, on the wrong side. But yeah, man, it's really cool. This is way heftier and way more serious than anything I have. At home.
Because I have it's like a styrofoam box with a plastic tray.
Yeah.
And I broke it once, and I replied to him. I was like, dude, I had this thing for 24 hours maybe.
It broke?
And it broke because it has this tiny little fill neck that comes out. And that thing in and out of the freezer, I guess it was more than 24 hours, probably a couple weeks, but in and out of the freezer just broke. And they're like, we'll send you another one. Because I was like, hey, I was trying to do a review on it. And they're like, we'll send you another one. And since I've been more fragile with that neck, it's been fine. But it doesn't make perfectly clear ice.
Right.
So I'm interested to see if this does.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's what thing everybody kind of aims for, is getting that perfectly clear ice. And it is difficult to do if you don't have the perfect setup and environment for it. This is heavy duty, and there's a lot of detail.
It's almost like a Yeti dog bowl.
Yeah, it's built just like a Yeti. It's really thick. It's heavy duty. It's got a nice ring on the bottom to give you some grip, so it's not sliding around and moving in your freezer or wherever you put it. So it'll be cool to see how it works out.
Definitely, yeah. Make some cocktails. We're also going to start doing a few cocktail videos because of the rising price in whiskey. We're just going to figure out outside of the cocktails that we sell and the cocktail smoker, what else?
Yeah, what else can you do?
Yeah, I mean, I know that's been done, but we're gonna.
I made a cocktail last night myself. Actually, made a hot toddy.
Did you?
Yeah, I was
the first one.
I said feeling kind of not first one, but I found a recipe online. It was really good. Had cinnamon and clove and some other stuff. Dude, it's really good. It was actually a Martha Stewart recipe. It's super bougie.
Oh wow!
But it was really good.
It didn't come with 3 to 5 years in prison.
It did not.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
So, anyways,
we're excited to try these out.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got for us this week?
I have some tips and strategies for turkey season.
Which started?
For us here in South Carolina, started yesterday in Zone 3 and on private land. It's different. If you have your tags, each tag is different for the zones.
Right.
And for like in this area where we hunt, you can only shoot one tom for like the first couple weeks. So if you go out like yesterday or today and you shot one, you'd have to wait like another week before you can hunt again. Whatever. But
I'm assuming most people don't have that problem.
Probably not. But turkey season's fun. It's a different type of hunting if you're not used to it, if you've never done it before. It is drastically different from hunting deer, hunting waterfowl. It is a different kind of challenge. And people look at a turkey and go, it's just a dumb turkey. But man,
it's a pretty big bird.
It is a pretty big bird. And when you're sitting on the ground or in a blind and they come close and they're strutting and they're a lot bigger than you think they are. But anyways, I thought I put together some ideas or tips, strategies, tactics
Tactics.
whatever you want to call it.
Tactics.
On some ways to give yourself a little bit of an edge.
Let's do it.
And I do intend, now that I actually have a free weekend this weekend, to film some things. And one of those is going to be a breakdown of my turkey vest and what I carry in it and some things that I recommend people carry that I learned from some other people who are far more experienced at this. And I thought it would be fun to share. But
Definitely.
getting into this, the first thing, just like any other game that you hunt, is you got to put some time in scouting. Having an idea where the turkeys are, you can do sometimes during deer season, right? You see turkey movement, but if you've ever turkey hunted, you know that where you see turkey during deer season, it's not always the same in the spring because they move and hens break away from the toms and they're doing their different things for that time of the year, and you're going to see a lot of you're going to see groups of toms and jakes hanging out and competing, and it's a whole different dynamic. But you got to get out and look for tracks. You can start with food sources, look for acorns, look for fields where they can graze, look for tracks. That'll give you an idea of kind of where you can start. And the night before you intend to hunt, if you have an opportunity to get to where you're going early, maybe the night before, you want to get out and try to roost those birds. What that means for those of you who are new to turkey hunting or have never hunted turkey, birds sleep in trees. If you didn't know that,
That's roosting.
that's roosting. So you want to get out close to sundown and try to figure out where they are roosting, because they'll stay there all night and you know exactly where to go the next morning. You don't want to go right up underneath the tree, obviously, but if you can set up within 100 yards, different people's opinions will vary, but I would avoid getting much closer than that, because with your flashlight and everything, you can kind of spook them.
So what's your tip on getting them to roost? Just chasing them until they fly up in a tree?
No, you just walk out in the woods, and in the evening times you can use. So during this time of year, they're super fired up, right? They're mating, they're looking to mate and make babies with hens, so they're super fired up. They got their testosterone or whatever they have that gets them all fired up is going, and they will gobble at anything. If you slam a truck door, you'll hear a gobble sometimes.
That's what somebody was telling me. Was it Patrick? He was saying that you go out there and make like a barn owl sound, and they're just like
So in the evening time, an owl call. You can use that owl call and do that just like when we're in the woods, and 30 minutes before sundown, you'll start to hear the owls going at it. They'll gobble to that, and you can also use a crow call, or even a turkey call, whatever you need to elicit a response from them, and you can start to kind of pinpoint where they're at. That'll give you an idea of where you need to set up the next morning. You can never really get into where you're going too early. The earlier you can get in there, you're not hurting anything. You want to get in, you want to get set up, and you want to wait. It's going to feel like forever because you're anxious and you want to have that interaction with the turkey. But have patience. If you can, while you're roosting, when you get to an area where you're like, I need to come back here. Sometimes you're lucky enough if you bring binoculars to see where they're at, if you can get a good clearing and get an idea of where they're going to roost, because they like long, kind of straight limbs. So if you can locate trees,
like those white oaks in there.
some of the white oaks, they a lot of times you'll find them in those older pines where they have no branches for like 30 feet, and then they have old straight branches that they'll fly up there. But
I've seen them come out of tall pine trees.
when
during deer season.
they pitch down and then they start their day kind of that way. But before they do that, they will gobble on the roost, and hens will yelp from the roost. So before sun up, they're listening and trying to figure out where am I going first thing in the morning,
which
right?
direction.
Exactly. So you want to try and position yourself to be able to.
Should you yelp a little bit before sunup?
So that's part of what I'm gonna get into. The night before, if you are able to locate and roost the birds, you want to try and find a place to locate. What I suggest is finding yourself a spot to set up and prepare it if you can. So that means if you're going to set up against a big oak tree and you have some cover around you, because you want a backdrop, right? Because the turkeys see really, really well. You want a nice wide tree or a down tree you can lean up against, or some sort of brush or cover. If you can, sweep that area out, get rid of leaves and things like
Snakes.
that. Get rid of any of that you can, and prepare yourself a spot to sit down where you can move and adjust yourself without making too much noise. there's a saying, I forget how it goes, something about turkeys can hear you think and see you, or see you think, and I don't know whatever it is, but they have really good senses, right? They can see 5 times further in the woods than we can. So just because you can't see them and you're making minimal movements doesn't mean they don't see you. They have phenomenal eyesight.
So sitting there texting before sunup is a bad idea.
It is a bad idea, for sure. But the next morning, you want to wait until sunup, until you start to hear them. And they will. The hens will start to yelp. They'll start to gobble. That's when you can start to try and give them that reason to get out of the tree. Now, I don't recommend calling too much. You want to space it out 10 to 15 minutes, give a little bit. But I also don't suggest...
Like chirp, 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 or you go full in?
Well, so here's the thing. This is where people's opinions will differ. Some people would tell you want to mimic a tree yelp, a light little yelp like a hen would do. But I want that tom in the tree that hasn't pitched down to be like, what is that? I got to go check her out, right?
She's making some noise.
So I want to sound like I'm the first hen on the ground and I'm looking for company. And so I will still space my calling out 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes apart.
She's a real comfort girl.
But I yelp with purpose, right? Like, I'm here I am, I'm hanging out, come check me out, come see me. But I will wait still and space that out, because you don't want to overwhelm them. They will, over time, later in the season, especially if you're still chasing or still hunting birds, you can kind of educate birds and they'll learn and like they'll be wary of things. So always have a plan before you call. There's nothing worse, especially if as the morning progresses and you're not getting the interaction you're looking for, you decide to do a little running and gunning, which is when you get up, you walk and call and try to chase the birds, cut them off. You want to have a plan before you start calling, because there's nothing worse than being standing out like in the middle of a big open path, yelp, 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 boom, you get hit with a response and it's right around the corner and you have nowhere to set up. It's the worst. So make sure before you call that you have a plan or a place to go if you need to right then and there, because it's happened. And my first ever turkey call was a battle with a tom that lasted most of the morning, and then a bad thunderstorm came in, and I went back to the clubhouse, waited it out, and then went right back out. He was in the same area, and I was finally able to, but it was this back and forth of where's he at, trying to cut him off. And it's fun. It's like playing chess in the woods with an animal, but you have to be persistent and you have to have a plan before you call, so you don't get yourself, stuck in a bad position. Like I said, don't overcall, but be purposeful. If you're looking to really head off a tom, this sort of a real mature tom, you want to observe turkeys if you can, and you'll notice that there will be, if there is a real mature kind of a boss tom, if you hear it referred to as in the group, he won't be messing around and running with the larger group of toms or jakes that are a little bit younger. He's out to do two things. That's get his piece for that morning, and eat and survive. Like those are the things that he's out there to do. So you're not going to see him mixing it up.
Does he see them as like a liability, so they don't go near him? Or
well,
he's just not interested?
It's just like
I'm
mature,
an old grumpy dude.
Yeah, it's just like mature deer. Like when you watch deer feed into a field, the last one to make his way in right at sundown, shooting light's terrible, and you can't get a clean, confident shot, is that big buck. And he's mature and he's old for a reason, and he's just figured that out. Right. Yeah. So you're not going to see him. But the thing is that they're often predictable. They've got a pattern. They know what they like and what they want to do. And so if you can identify them and sort of look at where they're roosting, where they're feeding, you can sort of figure out a pattern for them usually pretty easily and try to head them off. I'm not saying shooting them and getting them to come in close enough to shoot's easy, but you can figure out their pattern. Yeah. Be ready to have a backup call, like a backup plan, right? A lot of people have a call they're comfortable with. They like a box call. They like a pot call. Sometimes they're just not responding to that. It sounds too unlike a turkey to them. Yeah. So you got to switch it up sometimes. Sometimes a lot of wind or weather will call for using a call that has a higher pitch or a different tone to cut through that wind. So be prepared to don't rely on just one call. And like I said, mind your movement, because they can see much better. And then when you're calling, one thing that I have found will bring turkeys in is by, and this is kind of counterintuitive because I said watch your movement, so you have to be careful how you do this, but calling, and while you're calling, telling us, this is sound weird, but telling a story or presenting a scene.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine that you're just a dude we're sitting right here in the studio, and you hear a conversation down the hallway. A conversation by itself is not anything new.
That makes sense, yeah.
But if you hear a scuffle, if you hear a fight, if you hear something that sounds like that, that's going to get your attention, right? So you can do the same thing with turkeys. Some people, you can take an old turkey, after you shot one, an old turkey like wing, and you can use it to flap and beat the ground or bushes. You can do the same thing with a hat.
Yeah.
But something to just give the impression of a bird pitching down or flying or some excitement will, they're social creatures, so they're going to want to come see you and figure out what that is. And that's another tool you can add to your bag of things whenever you're trying to get those turkeys to come in.
Then they bring their big gross head around the corner and pop them.
Jelly heads.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then last but not least, I mean, shoot your gun, shoot your shotgun, pattern.
Yeah.
Make sure that your setup and your ammo that you're using work well together. Not every gun pattern's the same with the same load. So test your choke out. Full choke for turkey hunting for sure. And you use a turkey load. They kick a little harder, a lot harder than duck and bird loads and stuff for duck. But they're meant to you want a nice good pattern, because generally you're aiming for the head, because you don't want to have to clean all that stuff out of the body. So those are my tips and suggestions. I'm by no means an expert. I am probably the world's maybe okayest turkey hunter, but I've killed a turkey on my own once or twice, and it's a lot of fun. So
you're more capable qualified to speak about it than I am. I'm excited for my first turkey hunt.
I'm excited for you, man. I wish I could be there, mainly because I've never hunted in that kind of terrain.
Your family and
family,
right? I spend
kids.
Easter with my kids.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But yeah, man, it's a good time, and yes, I do. Yeah. I might even try turkey hunting this weekend, man. Didn't even think about it, but I could free up a morning and go this weekend. I might do that. Got my turkey. SCDNR has a new system for like licenses and tags and everything. And reporting.
Got the email, but I didn't open it yet.
So I went to the website because I realized that my all my stuff expired this month, and so I had to renew my licenses and everything. And they have a nice new website. It's nice and clean.
Do I need to get anything outside of? I have like small game and just regular.
You need a big. So if you have the sportsman's license for South Carolina, you should be good. That includes big game, but you'll need to go buy turkey ticket.
Turkeys are big game. Well, I know I got to buy turkey
tags. Yeah, they're $5 for 3, which is all you get.
Yeah,
and you'll need to do the same thing for Kentucky, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Did we buy licenses last year? We bought full on. Yes, what I thought
we got licenses for last year.
I couldn't remember if we bought.
I did the short term, and if we're going to keep going up there as much as we are, I think it's cheaper to just buy a year thing, even though we're out of state, which is expensive. But when you start adding it up in multiple trips and then trying to buy multiple 7-day or 3-day licenses, you might as well just get.
Especially when we can just get a phone call and they're like, "Hey, this weekend."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's going to be fun for you. We're flying up there. So I don't know how long it would be. You could ship stuff up there, I guess, if you needed gear.
I'm gonna ask Rocco. I think he's probably got everything.
Okay.
I plan on buying clothes while I'm there and leaving them there.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he's got a vacuum sealer, and I was just gonna wear them, wash them, throw them in a vacuum sealer, and
just leave them
next
there.
time I'm there.
That's a good idea. That's a real good idea.
That was the plan anyway. And I think he said he's got plenty of shotguns. So
yeah, that's all you need is a decent shotgun. You don't need anything crazy.
Yeah. And he's used to hunting with the UK fellas. So.
Yeah, I would suggest a short barrel shotgun.
You know me and my short barrels.
Not that short.
Oh.
Like 18 inches is a solid. The reason being is when you get in sometimes you got to set up in the brush and you need to move or maneuver yourself. And having a long 20-something inch barrel you would use for duck hunting is just, you're just knocking things in. One thing I recommend when I was talking about
use a pump
prepping, yeah,
you don't need it. It's like
the reason why, especially I prefer semi-auto for duck hunting just because it's a lot of action. But for turkey,
if you miss, it's done.
Well, it's not that it's done necessarily, but you have a little more time to rack another one and get a second shot. But the thing is that a pump, like a Mossberg or what's the other one that everybody has? Not a Mossberg, but
Benelli.
the cheap pump, like $300, $200 shotgun. There's the Mossberg 500, I think, and then why am I drawing a blank?
Yeah, because I have one.
Yeah, everybody has one. It's like you get them as a kid, and it's most of the time it's black and it's wood stock, and it's oh my god,
I can't remember. I have one in my closet in my bedroom.
yeah, I have one in my Anyways, that you can throw that thing in the dirt, hunt in the rain, and it's still going to rack another load, another shell, and you're still going to be able to pull the trigger. Yeah. And when you're running around in the woods trying to get a new call, you got to set your gun down. It's not a place for a nice Benelli shotgun. You know what I mean? That's gonna.
Well, that's why I have a Benelli, because I know that I can sink it in the swamp and it's okay. I spray it with some
I've never had
some CWD. Spray with some CMP and just
yeah. So it's I recommend a pump. It's just easier. It's less mechanical stuff to go wrong or have a problem with, and make sure you have one in the chamber. There's nothing worse than doing all that work to get a bird in and going click.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Because
they're gonna
definitely hear that. So
and they know that sound.
And definitely like shoot your shotgun. Like understand your range because you're actually effective with the shotgun and a turkey a lot further than you think you are if you're accurate and you understand what you're shooting.
500 yards.
Yes. No, but like
we did like 40.
Yeah, you can definitely kill a turkey out to 40 yards if you are confident and you understand what you're shooting and what you're loading. Right. Yeah. I don't like shooting that far. I like him to be within 20 yards because it's fun. I enjoy the challenge of getting a turkey in that close.
I want a guillotine one.
A guillotine.
The bow.
Oh, with the bow, that'd be fun. That's the one thing I haven't done. I haven't hunted a turkey with a bow.
Those things, they're pretty big. They're like this. I mean, obviously not. They're like that.
Yeah.
I think I could.
It's like 3, isn't it? Whatever it is.
Well, yeah, it's got like the center thing, but I think I could 100%
just guillotine a turkey.
I'm pretty sure. As long as he's not like.
Well, I mean, within
neck and chin
within 10 or 20 yards, I mean, I can shoot a group that size. So I would hope that I could hit a turkey's neck and just.
Yeah. And he's like, "What's that?" It's his head. But yeah, turkey hunting. I'm ready.
It's gonna be fun.
I'm ready.
Good. So
let's hit this fact.
Fact of the week.
Random fact of the week.
I was metal banging.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
I'm just finger picking a guitar. What's the fact?
So this is actually submitted by Jacob Whitfield.
Oh, what's up, Jacob?
He's our resident. I just filled out an application for him for Master Forester Expert or something.
Really?
Yeah. New position, I guess, with the company.
Good for him.
Or a new company, I don't know.
As long as we've known him, he has been busting his ass. If not
he's
in school.
He's a worker, dude.
If not in school, he's up to his chest in the shit in the woods doing his thing. And then studying.
Burning everything down right now, doing burns.
Yeah, and then he's been studying for his credentials in his career.
Yeah, he reached out. He's like, "Would Whiskey Whitetails write me a recommendation for the job?" And I was like, "Absolutely,
absolutely."
So I was like, I put on there, it's like, "How do you know him?" And I was like, anytime we have wood stuff, he has a segment. He's done a segment on the podcast before. Anytime we have questions about forestry management or wood, he's our go-to guy. So like, he's published in the podcast world and on the tubes. So this is submitted by him, which I found fascinating. So we've had this conversation about this. What this part wasn't. This is a lead into, but we had this conversation about we can't find it that it says bourbon must be an American white oak. Can't find it. It like everybody says that, but then if you look it up, it just says American oak.
Yeah,
but because of this submitted fact, it has to be white oak. It could be nothing else.
Okay.
So it has to be American white oak. So Missouri, specifically Missouri white oak, T.W. Boswell founded a stave company in 1912. And by 1920, owned 36 stave production operations at sawmills. And in 1951, it was renamed as Independent Stave Company, which we all know today. So by his son. So why white oak? This is what was submitted. This is a random fact inside the random fact.
Okay.
So white oak acorns mature in fall the same year they're fertilized. Red oak, it takes 2 years for them to drop acorns. That's a fact inside a fact. Yep. But here's the fact of the week. white oak trees have, they all have pores and cells, but white oak pores are blocked by a plastic-like substance called tylosis, which is waterproof. The red oak does not have that.
Okay.
So tylosis forms in the growth ring from the previous year. So every time there's a new growth ring, tylosis forms, which is a waterproof barrier, nothing can come through it, which I'm guessing is why they quarter saw staves, because that is giving you multiple growth rings of layers of,
it's stronger when they do it that way?
yeah, stronger, and it's more waterproof, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's the random fact of the week. The oak trees, so the reason they use American white oak is because of tylosis, which is
Interesting.
a waterproofing plastic. It's a plastic-like substance is what the,
And that's in the wood?
yeah, it's made on its own.
I wonder if that starts at the acorn.
Don't know. Didn't go that far into
Well,
it.
the reason I ask, and maybe this is something that Jacob we could do a segment and he could follow up with us on. And maybe this is just my personal, I don't want to call it ignorance, but just my perspective from hunting more in South Carolina down here in the low country. We see a lot of white oaks in the marshy, swampy areas.
Yeah, I think they don't dry rot. They're more protected, I believe.
Yeah,
It's the point of it.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying is that it is because of that. What's it called?
Tylosis.
Tylosis.
Tylos.
It's like halitosis, but not.
It smells better.
It sounds yeah, it does. Interesting. That's
Yeah.
cool.
And that's where the code word of the week came from, oak.
He's a smart feller.
Yeah. That's what these are. Hey, these are white oak.
Hey, they are.
White oak. Also, it's probably done by now, but if not, go to Snipers Unknown Instagram page. They're doing this patch there. They're doing a patch giveaway, not a giveaway, raffle.
Yep.
And the money is going to...
Not this patch, different patch.
Yeah, different patch. It's going to support a veteran that lost a leg and an arm
Thanks, Biden.
in war.
I fucking said it.
I think this was like before.
No, this happened. He's one of the few that survived that bombing
that's
when we were
right.
trying to evacuate out of Afghanistan.
That's right.
And our administration currently was like, they're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's one of the Marines that got blown up and survived.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I thought, because it said something about 2001, and I thought this was way older story.
Maybe I misread, but I'm pretty sure that's what I saw. And his injuries are recent and yeah.
Well, there's 3
Go
patches.
check it out. Figure it out yourself.
And so the top 3 highest bidders get them, and they're not very much so.
Cool.
Go in there and help this fella out, fellow service member. Then tomorrow we're going to Highwire Distilling.
Yep.
We're going to do a private tour, film a little bit of it for everybody, and then we're probably going to schedule a podcast as well.
Yeah, let's do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
There or here?
Here, not tomorrow, but
No.
eventually.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for that. I've never been to Highwire for this reason. I wanted to do a tour with you in the Whiskey and Whitetails world. I didn't want to just go.
Have an interesting update when we're done with this.
Yeah. And so that's the big, I'm excited for it. So we're going to film a lot and charge in all the batteries and the mics and all that. So hopefully we'll have some good footage and the gimbal's charged up. If you want to bring your thing and get some
yeah, I will. Just remind me.
B-roll footage, and I'll try and focus on the main stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. What was your update?
So a while back, we reached out, tried to get in touch with the folks from Horse Soldier.
Okay.
Right. I know personally one of the individuals that helps with that company. I'm not 100% sure of his stake in
role or
ownership
capacity,
or role or whatever, but he has been a part of it from day one. He is one of the horse soldiers, the soldiers that were
from the movie.
The
actual.
Well, but
from the actual thing, and then was a movie.
But that first group of Green Berets that went in to put a force together and try to. He was one of those.
Killer Eyes.
Yeah. Interesting movie if you've never seen it. But anyways, the bourbon or the whiskey that they make, we think it's a cool story, and we wanted to do something with it. And we really haven't highlighted it or done anything with the whiskey on the show.
We have some. Oh, we have it here.
We have some. Yeah, we have some here somewhere. Yeah. And I know we drank it when we did the podcast with One Nation Coffee.
Yeah.
And we drank a bunch that episode. And I don't know how much we really talked about it. Anyways, the gentleman that I know, I'm good friends with his son. He reached out and was like, "Hey, how come you guys haven't done a review on any Horse Soldier?" And I was like, "Well, we've kind of been holding off, trying to get in touch and trying to work out a thing to do something with them." And he's like, I'm going to make that happen as soon as I can, but they're super freaking busy right now. They just broke ground in the last year on their new distillery on the Bourbon Trail. And so my buddy is big in the construction and oil field.
On the Texas Bourbon Trail.
No. I don't know which one it is. I'm pretty sure it's in Kentucky.
Oh, I thought they were in Texas.
But anyways, he apparently helped them with, because he does construction and stuff like that. He helped pick and coordinate some of these specifics for the building. They are using the same builder and architect that built the new Macallan distillery.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've seen pictures of that thing.
Yeah,
but it is
fantastic.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, Horse Soldier Bourbon coming home with new $200 million distillery destination on Kentucky's Lake Cumberland.
Yep. What city is that in?
New York City. Nope. I don't know.
Anyways, so I was talking with him, and he is going to be a catalyst for us, as they're super busy right now. He said they're still small, and it's one of those situations where...
So it could be Clinton, Laurel, McCleary, Pulaski, Russell, or Wayne County.
Okay.
It's a pretty big lake.
Well, never mind then. He mentioned a specific town, and I can't remember what it was. But anyways, I'm going to stay in touch with him, obviously, and hopefully grease the skids with getting something set up where we can go check out the distillery and try to get them on
that would be epic.
On a podcast and get some bourbon to sample and talk about. But I know we've talked about them in earlier episodes way back, and nothing really has come of it. It wasn't for lack of trying. It was one of those situations where they have a good product and a really cool story. People like it, and it took off. He said it took off faster than they can kind of keep up with it, and they're just really hard to get a hold of. And it wasn't personal. I was like, I told him, I said, we did not take it personal at all. It's
never do.
No, it's all business. And
that bottle that we actually got from a veteran hunt.
That's right.
That quail hunt, and the people that hosted us bought us all a bottle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I remember now. And thanks to Misty Bausch for your order. Thank you. I appreciate it. Just while we're sitting here. But yeah, I'm excited. That'll be a lot of fun, especially if it's another trip to Kentucky. Oh no, twist my arm.
Oh man,
twist it. Yeah, I'm excited. What did you look at any? So we're gonna do Old Forester, but did you look at anything else that you wanted to do while we were in Louisville?
I haven't.
Gravel Mouth, Louisville.
I have not. No, being honest.
Have you been to Louisville?
No. Never.
So they have like I don't remember what it's called, but like a Live 5 downtown or something. I don't know. And Live 5 is the local news.
That's the local news channel.
It might be Louisville Live.
Okay.
I don't know.
That sounds...
Remember the Baltimore Live? Like that bar district where they had the bowl that you ride and all that?
Yeah, I know of it, but I never went. I've never been there. My only time coming to Baltimore was I never went outside of your house, the Arundel Mills area, or the base.
Yeah.
The only time I went downtown was to go meet Andy to eat that one place that we went to eat at not far from her groomers, where she was working.
The burger place?
I don't remember. Yeah. I had nachos.
Oh, I don't remember.
Some killer nachos. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly where we went. Yeah, because the Nacho Mamas.
Was it? Yeah, and it was down. It was like a few blocks over from the Bohemian.
Yep.
I think
Whatever
so.
It was called. Yeah, it was in Canton.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, that's my extent of Baltimore. I never wanted to get shot or anything, so I never went too far.
Solid. We drove around like when all the riots were happening there,
and
like whenever that was, 2012 or 13 or 14.
Yeah, after the cops, that dude died in the back of that van.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what happened. This stuff happens there all the time.
Yeah,
but we went down there, the streets were on fire, and there were dudes like riding police horses that weren't cops. And so we went down there, and we're looking around, and I was like, we should probably go home. But I thought about leaving because I was up whatever it is when I owed too much on a car, and I was going to leave it down there because I thought for sure it'll get. And then we ended up not doing it because I thought about if they're like, why was it parked there?
Yeah, you
live 20 miles from here. Like,
let's talk about other insurance fraud ideas you have.
Yeah, right. So we didn't do it. But anyway, the Louisville Live. That's where Brian Powers came down and they had 40 night.
Oh yeah.
And we bought 40s. They were like $10 or something.
Oh man, you ever played Edward 40 Hands?
Yeah, of course.
You ever been to a 40 party?
That's back when I used to smoke cigarettes, and it was really hard to smoke cigarettes with 40 taped to your hands. So you end up chugging one.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great night. Actually, my stomach just kind of turned thinking about it.
Yeah. I'm glad I...
240s with Steel Reserve.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. That's still your thing, Steel Reserve.
No, it's not.
But anyway, Louisville.
Yeah.
Louisville Live or whatever it's called. It's like a big outdoor bar district.
Okay.
So
is outdoor drinking encouraged?
Uh-huh.
Fantastic.
I'm pretty sure I haven't been there in
you've been there
2006.
Oh, okay.
That was the last time I was there at that part of Louisville.
Yeah.
I went there for a car show shortly after that too. Remember we used to go to, it was called something on the banks, kind of like Bourbon on the Banks, but it was like Dubs on the Banks or Dubs by the Bridge. Dubs by the Bridge, I think.
Not Dubs on the Lake.
No, it wasn't Dubs on the Lake. It's Dubs by the Bridge.
That's the last
bridge
one I
that goes to. That bridge. They had a car show there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
Volkswagen
cool.
car show.
Yeah. Is there any other kind?
No, not for me.
Drop Jaw,
Drop Jaw,
the big show.
dude. Have we ever talked about that?
Do we have to talk about
I wonder if anyone even knows what Drop Jaw is.
I doubt it, dude. You know they got shut down, right?
I'm sure that it did. I remember thinking back when you used to DJ there, and I would go up there and Drop Jaw, and they had the wet t-shirt contest, and it was a bunch of like 40-year-old men standing around watching these. No way they were 18-year-old girls doing. And I've never considered it until like I get older in life, and like they don't do wet t-shirt contests anymore, I don't think. But that was like the thing back in the car scene.
Yeah, I think that was also just a different time in life before there were phones everywhere,
you couldn't
and
record
cameras
then,
everywhere, and I never thought about it either.
I didn't think anything. I wasn't really super
in my early
interested.
20s, and I was just working, man. Like
I was at the car show.
people always were like,
I
oh,
never
you must,
liked crowds. I'd look over there and be like, that's too many people.
Well, people were always like, oh, you must, this and that, and it's like
Slay.
it's work. Like I was there before the first
and
car showed up, and
by the end of the
I
day.
was there out in the sun all day, and then I was there until the place was shut down, running sound, doing because we would provide the professional
mixing
sound.
up those sweet beats.
But we were DJing throughout the day. There was the big kind of party and event in the evening that we DJ'd live. Throughout the day, it was kind of a set list and a playlist we played, just kind of entertainment.
iTunes.
We had a microphone for announcements and stuff, but we were not just doing that on the main stage, but we were over at the racetrack where they were doing the burnout competitions, the drag racing, and the with the cars with
The hydraulics.
Yeah, hydraulic. Like we were all over the place all day long. It's like I barely had time to eat, let alone enjoy anything that was going on. The only time I got a break was actually the shows where you came, and I had an opportunity to break away and go walk around and hang out a little bit.
But even then, that was really short. I was like, damn, I
It
came
was
all the way
super
up
short.
here for.
I know.
hang
I
out for
felt
5
super
minutes.
bad, but
No, I
it was
don't
nothing. It was like, well, you can come hang out
I've actually
backstage
held
afterwards.
that grudge.
Have you?
Since then?
Well,
when was this?
too fucking bad.
2002,
I was.
3.
It was no, because it was after I graduated, and I was
Really?
Yeah, I was in
thought for
college,
sure I
but it
in high
was
school.
no, I was going to community college before I transferred because I did the 2 years.
Did you graduate the year before me? Then
You kept hearing that?
yeah,
It's driving me.
whatever.
That's probably not. No, I graduated in 2004.
No, we graduated the same year.
Yeah, we graduated the same year, and we got to show our senior pictures sometime.
Oh yeah.
So because what people don't
That's-
understand is that
that's
there was junior high and high school was the period where we kept in touch, but very hit or miss.
yeah.
Phones weren't, cell phones weren't
Yeah,
a
we didn't
thing.
have cell phones.
MySpace was where the thing. So we would keep in touch every now and then, and we would make a trip up and down a couple times a year, but it wasn't super frequent. But it's so weird. Our senior pictures were almost identical to the point that
We'll just put it up here. You send me yours because I definitely.
I gotta see if I can find it. I don't know if I have
I'm sure
it somewhere.
Janita has.
I'll ask
I have to
around.
ask my mom or dad to send it.
Yeah, I'll see if I have it and send it to you. But
I'll put it in here.
people are gonna swear there's no way we didn't plan it, but I swear on my children's life we did not plan it.
No.
And they are so similar. But it was after that because there's no way I would have been doing and driving and going to those shows while I was in high school.
You think it was like the 1 year leather jackets were cool? Because remember, leather jackets came back and then they went away real quick.
Yeah, they were cool for 30 minutes.
Because you and I both
and it happened to be
that
time. Yeah.
So we got our senior pictures with leather jackets
with our trucks.
We had the same
almost
had
the
a
exact same.
GMC, I had a Chevrolet, but
Yep.
they were the same color.
Same color.
Yeah.
I had the step side, which I didn't
had a
like.
flare
I
side?
wanted, yeah.
Is that what they call it?
I don't remember the step side where.
Yeah, I know it.
But yeah, and I never really cared for it, but.
And I had a straight
The
side,
straight
but they were
side.
both champagne,
Mm-hmm.
and we were like leaning against our trucks with we were cool,
We
too
were
cool.
so
for school.
cool.
Did we have the same arm post?
I
I don't remember,
know,
man. I haven't seen that picture in years. It's wild.
Oh man, good times. But how did we get on that?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh, we were talking about car shows, and then we were talking about
Oh,
drum
yeah,
golf.
yeah.
It's
Well,
good times, man. Not a care in the world.
no, way different.
Just where am I going to eat next, and do I have enough cash for gas to get home?
It's so funny, man. Like now I try not to eat so much in a day. Back then, like I just couldn't afford to eat a bunch.
It's funny how some things change and some
Like
things
now I
stay the
open the
same.
fridge and I'm like, oh, I got to eat all this food before it goes,
It goes bad, so don't
But
waste it.
I can vividly remember opening the fridge and being like, cheese sticks and guess that's it. Pepperoni. I always have pepperoni around.
Yeah. Solid choice.
I got bologna. I made a tomato bologna mayonnaise sandwich, and it's like one of my
Yeah.
favorites with salt and pepper. And I ran out of tomatoes. So the other day, I just took a piece of cheese and a bologna, cheese on the bologna, and I put mustard on it. I took a bite into it, and I had like, I don't do drugs, but whatever that drug is where you have flashbacks, acid, like an acid flash. I had like a flashback of when that was like what I ate. Because that's
what you could afford.
yeah, I could buy a pack of bologna and a pack of American cheese and mustard. Crazy. All right. I think we've done enough.
Yep.
All right. Which CB Spotlight do you want to do?
I was going to ask you the same thing.
I wrote down, we got the NDA, we got the Coast Guard, and OpFob. So you have OpFob. Those are the three that I wrote down. OpFob, NDA, and the Coast Guard.
Let's do the Coast Guard one.
Yeah, because fishing season's coming.
Yeah, that's a good one to do.
Yeah, so that'll be a
There's
good
a lot of really
good information, yeah.
I don't know what I had no expectations for that one.
No idea what we were talking
But
about.
it was super interesting. Not what I expected that conversation, and not what I won't preface it, but not what I understood the Coast Guard to have involved.
Oh, me neither. I had no idea.
No
they did
clue.
this
That's
before.
very fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
So
All right, cool. Well, that'll be out. Oh wait, that's already
tomorrow.
so that's already out.
that's been out. So
So if you haven't heard it, go give it a
check
listen. So what are we gonna do this week then?
let's do OpFob then.
OpFob this week.
Yeah.
All right. So this Thursday, OpFob will come out, and you'll learn all about that there as well. Good guys that we talked to.
Yeah, local guys. Good mission.
Got some other stuff
Good
going
dudes.
on with them eventually.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
That we're excited about. They got some nice property.
All right.
Thanks everybody for joining us.
As always.
Have a great day.
See ya.